get started with the breaking news that's coming in. The Board of Cricket Control in India, the BCCI, has served a stern message and a warning to the Pakistan Cricket Board. We are told the BCCI Secretary Anurag Thakur has told PCB that terror and cricket cannot go side by side. Anurag Thakur, in an interview to TV Today, said that Pakistan needs to know what cricket and terror attacks cannot go on at the same time. That safety and security is of paramount importance, and if we have issues between boards and country, they will have to be resolved before we resume cricketing ties. Let's listen in first to what Anurag Thakur had to say.
मैं आतंकी हमले की निंदा करता हूं और इसकी जितनी निंदा की जाए उतनी कम है। बार बार भारत को सॉफ्ट टारगेट बनाया जाता है, क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म को बढ़ावा दिया जाता है, और ऐसे मुद्दे पर जब आप मुझसे कहते हैं कि क्या आप क्रिकेट फील्ड पर जाएंगे, एक भारतीय होने के नाते मेरे मन में आता है कि हर भारतीय की जान मेरे लिए ज़्यादा प्यारी है, मेरा भारत मेरे लिए ज़्यादा प्यारा है। क्रिकेट बाद में हो सकता है, लेकिन हर हिंदुस्तान की जान ज़्यादा प्यारी है। पहले बीसीसीआई और पीसीबी, भारत सरकार और पाकिस्तान सरकार को कई मुद्दों को वहाँ पर स्पष्टता लानी होगी, बातचीत करनी होगी। उन विषयों पर मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं शुरुआत होनी चाहिए। उससे पहले हम क्रिकेट फील्ड पर नहीं जा सकते जब तक ये आतंकवादी हमले होते रहेंगे। बोल दिया यार, अंग्रेजी में कितनी बार बोलना है।
Well, there you heard it, Anurag Thakur, of course, sending out that stern warning of sorts to the Pakistan Cricket Board. Joining me from the newsroom is my colleague Shivani Gupta, who tracks all sporting, of course, activities, and also former cricketer Mr. Nikhil Chopra is on the phone line. But first, let's listen into what Anurag Thakur had to say
Anurag,
in the
terror
TV
attack
today.
has taken place in Gurdaspur. What do you have to say on it?
I condemn the terrorist attack.
But they're also saying that, you know, there are talks going on that we should have a cricketing relationship between the two countries. Or do you think after these kind of terror attacks, that possibility still remains?
I think terrorist attack and cricket matches can't go hand in hand. That's my personal feeling. At the same time, when you have every day, every second week, every month, cross-border terrorism promoted by Pakistan, and you're asking me to play a cricket match with them as an Indian, for me, my priority is the safety and security of every Indian. They're not a cricket match.
You know, there have always been talk of Pakistan on one hand says that it wants a better relationship with India, normalize the cricketing ties especially, and yet these kind of terror acts happen. What do you have to?
We also want good relation with our neighbors. I think Prime Minister has achieved that. He has worked hard on that. But if you look at the cross-border terrorism, time and again, in Jammu Kashmir region, now in Punjab region, I think you can't say that Pakistan hand is not there. If there is involvement of Pakistan, I think we must be very clear that what is our priority, whether it is safety and security of our countrymen or it is cricket.
But you know, you also represent BCCI, you are a secretary in BCCI. Does your view reflect the mood of the BCCI, or is this in your individual capacity? So ask them.
As of now, Pakistan and India series is not under discussion. Once this matter will come up, we'll take it up.
But if given to you, you would not want to go ahead with that?
I'll raise this, I'll give my opinion there as well.
This was Anurag Thakur with camera person Pinaki, Brijesh Pandey for India Today.
So remember, India, Pakistan have not been playing cricket, of course, but whatever indications were there of a possible resumption, maybe of a bilateral series in some third venue, even that seems to be on the chopping block once again. Shivani Gupta, my colleague, is now joining us from the newsroom. And before I go across to Mr. Nikhil Chopra, Shivani, very quickly, you know, because Anurag Thakur there seemed to suggest that he's speaking in his personal capacity. So is this really the words that he spoke as of now are essentially words for media, or is it via media for the PCB?
I think it's a little bit of both. Of course, we can't forget that Anurag Thakur is part of the ruling party at the centre, and it is really the centre's approval that the BCCI needs to go ahead with any bilateral series, even at a third venue with Pakistan. As far as this terror cloud on India-Pak series is concerned, it has always existed. When PCB chairman Shahryar Khan came to India a few months ago, he tried to project that the series is on. There is not much that can stop it, but the government had not given it a green signal. Until that happens, there was no way that the series was going to happen. So obviously after these attacks, that comes to the fore again. There was talks of a series being held in December. A window was being made for it, but it looks extremely unlikely under present circumstances that can go ahead. And the BCCI cannot ignore what the general feeling in the country or what the centre's feeling would be. And let's not forget, even security, as Anurag Thakur said, of its players is of course of paramount importance before we even think of resuming bilateral ties with Pakistan.
Johnny, also consulting editor sports, Boria Majumdar has with us on this broadcast. But Boria, keeping in mind that as of now, as far as the Gurdaspur encounters are concerned, they are still, it's the needle of suspicion that we are talking about as far as Pakistan and its involvement is concerned, or Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists are concerned. We will have to wait for confirmations. And, in UFA, when the two prime ministers met, they had said that let the NSAs come and meet and let them talk about, through this mechanism, issues of terrorism. Do you think that Anurag Thakur is perhaps, given the fact that he's a member of parliament from the BJP, a young face, he is perhaps under greater pressure to be taking this tough stand compared to the other counterparts in the BCCI?
There Anurag said it very clearly that if there is a Pakistan hand, so there was an if, and he made it very clear that in Kashmir and now in Punjab, he said if there is a Pakistan hand, he was speaking in his personal capacity that security and safety comes first. I don't see that as a problem at all. If there is a Pakistan hand, will there be cricket? No. Go and ask anybody in this country, should there be cricket? Yes, but is it at the cost of safety and security? Absolutely not. So if there is a tough stand taken by Anurag Thakur, he should speak as both the parliamentarian Anurag Thakur, an Indian Anurag Thakur, and also as secretary of the BCCI Anurag Thakur. And I think he's done justice to all his roles. He is trying to preempt any talks of a series going ahead if there is any semblance of a chance, Smita, that there is a Pakistan hand in this terror attack.
Okay, let me also get in a word from Mr. Kirti Azad, former cricketer and also, of course, with the BJP currently. Mr. Azad, how do you look at the statements made by Anurag Thakur, and do you think that is the right approach? Because for the longest time now, India and Pakistan anyways haven't been playing cricket.
Yes, we've always said terror and talks can't go together. As simple as that, period. I think we should have been a little more candid by not saying that I'll go to the board and ask the people. We are all Indians first. And when you have this happening repeatedly, then you simply say there's no way that we're going to talk till terror stops.
But do you think that as far as the board is concerned, they would all be on the same page as this subject is concerned?
And to be very honest, I'm not a spokesperson of the BCCI, and thank God for that. I just don't know what goes in their mind. I had given a little bite to you. You must have seen it yesterday when I said how they differ on two opinions when it comes from the court.
Okay, many thanks, Mr. Kirti Azad, for the reaction there. Of course, suggesting that what Anurag Thakur is saying, that it is the right approach. But Shivani, also, what was the probability if in case this incident hadn't happened? There are ifs and buts here which we must factor in if this incident hadn't happened, and if, the role of Pakistan in these attacks is proved beyond doubt. But how real and probable were the chances of India and Pakistan playing cricket soon?
Well, this started off as extremely high probability, but I think the chances of the series happening was, decreasing, because you have to obviously find space for the series as well, and with no go-ahead from the centre, it didn't look like the BCCI will manage that. Of course, just today as we speak, South Africa's itinerary of their tour to India has been confirmed. It goes, deep into December. So, those are the concerns that the BCCI had. Of course, if they want, they can find a window. But if there was a high probability after Prime Minister Narendra Modi came into power and Nawaz Sharif had come for his for his swearing-in ceremony and so on, that kind of confidence has perhaps depleted a little bit over the last few months. And if there is of course more proof in this case that the attacks that have happened today, I think it will put paid on any possibility of an India-Pakistan series. It wasn't looking very a high probable chance in the last few weeks, and this will completely derail it if at all it was going to happen.
Okay, I'm also joined by former cricketer Mr. Nikhil Chopra here on the phone line. Mr. Chopra, how do you look at it? Because at the end of the day, dialogue is still on between India and Pakistan. People are still meeting. Exchanges are taking place, but it's cricket that we want to put a stop on. You agree with this sort of an approach to the subject?
Well, hearing what Anurag said, I'm no political analyst, but I guess you've got to respect the board secretary, and also Anurag's a member of parliament. And don't forget, even if he wants the cricketing ties to go ahead, it's the Home Ministry that has to give the clearance. But if these sort of attacks keep on continuing, I don't think that there would be any cricketing ties between India and Pakistan, because like Anurag says, the Indian life is going every single day. So, I guess none of the ministries would allow this sort of cricketing ties or sporting ties to continue.
Okay, and also, Anurag there seemed to suggest that this is his personal point of view. It is something he will put across to the board. But there are other games, some other games that India and Pakistan have been participating in. So you think it's really not playing cricket that sends out a better message?
I guess, in terms of course, friendship ties, cricket is the most popular sport in, I guess, both the countries. In that regard, maybe it's the most watched. If we stop all these cricketing ties, maybe the locals there themselves would put pressure, and whoever's, doing sort of these cross-border terrorism, unless you stop that, the cricketing ties won't resume. So I guess there will be some internal pressure within the Pakistan camp.
Okay, many thanks Nikhil Chopra for having joined us with your take and your perspective on this subject. But Boria, in May this year, around in May and June, there was almost sort of the speculation that a series had been finalized. I remember Sushma Swaraj in the press conference that she did after the NDA government completed 1 year, she had to come and clarify that no, there was no series that was going to happen because the MEA had not been approached yet for permission. So is there a section within the BCCI which has been the pro-series kind of a section?
There was. Till today, of course there was. I mean, back channels were on. I mean, Shivani was telling you about the South Africa series. Let me sort of add to that. From middle December onwards, the BCCI had created a window. And there was a serious section in the BCCI from the absolute top brass onwards, which was in favor of a series with Pakistan based on their discussions with Shahryar Khan. And let me also tell you that the BCCI would have approached the MEA in September once the BCCI AGM was over. They were sort of taking it month by month, trying to see what happens if there is any development in the political front. The Nawaz Sharif, Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting last month obviously added to that. There was a sense of positivity, and there is no two ways that that series would have happened. I can tell you that the BCCI would have pushed for that series if political situation was better, but after today, no way. I mean, if there is terror going on, there is absolutely no way any sport, leave alone cricket. You asked that question to Nikhil. I am of the opinion that it should not be cricket alone, but all sports, all kinds of cultural contact should be put to a stop with Pakistan if there is terror on from the other side of the border. It's all, it's all or nothing. You guys come on the table, we will do cultural contact, we will do people-to-people contact only if terror stops, because unless and until Indians feel safe and you keep attacking us, there is no way we'll play sport.
Okay, let's also, for the benefit of the viewers who are joining us right now, let's play out for you what Anurag Thakur had to say on the subject a short while ago, something that we are discussing, of course, on this news edition. Let's first listen into Anurag Thakur before I get back to Shivani and Boria.
I condemn today's terrorist attack on India. I think you can't expect a cricket series along with terrorist attacks. For me, the safety and security of every Indian is more important rather than a game of cricket. As an Indian, I won't like to see my country as a soft target. For me to go ahead as far as the PCB or the India series is concerned, I think there are many issues which need to be resolved between India and Pakistan with the board and with the government. So I think it's very, very important first to resolve those issues, to stop this terrorist attack on India, then we can think about cricket. This is my personal viewpoint.
Also, Boria, only recently have we seen an international team actually play cricket in Pakistan. The attacks on the Sri Lankan team virtually brought to a standstill any team even heading to Pakistan. Pakistani players have not been coming and participating in IPL following the Mumbai attacks. How much does it really hurt Pakistan when it does not get to play cricket, and especially a match which is always as high, of course, highly charged up as a match between India and Pakistan?
Big time. It hurts big time. That is why Pakistan is so insistent on the resumption of a bilateral series with India. There was no way India would have gone and played in Pakistan. That was out of the question. They were pushing for a series in Abu Dhabi, and that was what the BCCI was also considering, and even playing Pakistan's home series in India. I mean, there were talks that the series would take place between mid-December and mid-January. So there are serious chances of the series taking place. And as recent as last week, I've known BCCI officials talk about it. But after today, I think Shivani was spot on that it's been completely derailed. There is no way you can talk cricket when terror is on. And as I said, you should escalate this now from cricket to all other sports and all kinds of cultural conflict.
One final word from you, Shivani, before I wrap up. What is the sense, if you've managed to get a sense from Anurag Thakur, is this a message also that will be conveyed in absolutely categorical terms to the PCB soon?
Yes, I think this message is already enough of a message to Pakistan. You have to understand the BCCI is a heavily political body. So when someone like Anurag Thakur comes out and says this on a day like today, it is going to be concurred with by other board members. You have the presence of the likes of Arun Jaitley, Rajiv Shukla, Anurag Thakur, even Omar Abdullah and Farooq Abdullah up in Jammu and Kashmir. It's a very heavily political body, and nobody in today's climate is going to go against the current climate if at all Pakistan is involved in this attack and push for a series. I think that is completely out of the question now. If at all it is going to happen, it cannot happen in December, so soon after these attacks.
Okay, for now, many thanks Shivani Gupta as well as Boria Majumdar for having joined us with all the updates and perspective on this developing story. Clearly, after 12 hours of that operation between security personnel, while all terrorists were killed in Gurdaspur, but whatever little chances there were of a bilateral cricketing tie resumption between India and Pakistan, that now seems to have been completely derailed following indications that Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists were involved in this latest attack. This is a wrap of this edition of the broadcast, but news and